Okay, so back to Galway Bay. This is Galway Bay here, all of it. And I have been along the side down here towards Galway. I think the last port was Burren, paddle down. So I was going to make my way back out. So, ideally, if I'd had a rescue boat or something, I could have crossed here. In fact, that would have been pretty exciting, or even here. But because it was just by myself, and I do have plenty of time to do this anyway. It's not like it's a race. Um, I saw a window of opportunity. It was in June, and I thought I'm just going to go down there. Conditions look really good, flat and calm, and I'm going to try and do a little bit more around Galway Bay. And up here is Fanor, and this is Cliffs of Moher. It's just down around here. So Galway Bay, and you can see it's not a massive distance, that's 14 kilometers. So it's very short between all the piers. And I had done my research, and I've been measuring everything out. That's the other side, which is 13 miles. Again, not a whole lot from Fanor round to Dillon. And I measure all these out thinking, oh, it'd be great if I could do all that. But I usually have A, this would be brilliant, and B, this is probably more realistic, and C, if it's not very good, I'll just do this. But not a massive distance. Look, 13 miles. Although, you're right out here. There's like mainly cliffs the whole way around here as well. But anyway, I'm just looking at all the piers. I can see like how I can get in and out along the coast. I prefer piers to beaches, although it's flat and calm. So it's just if you get wet and then you're in the car and you're driving a wee bit further and then you get out, you're likely to get sick. And it's happened to me before. So I like to just try and stay dry if I can. These are all the piers that I could see the whole way along the side of Galway Bay, and then up to Liscannor, which is where I was staying. So I had just driven all day, all morning to get there, and I was starting here, Galway Bay Sailing Club Slipway. So and it seemed like a really nice place, lots of kids around. This is in June, and I'm just heading out. So I'm at Rinfield here, and this is Galway Sailing Club right behind me, and I'm skirting my way around Galway Bay. So just outside Galway at the minute, about to launch Rinfield Pier. A nice busy little pier, a lot of people around, plenty of boats. It's June, so you'd expect there to be a lot of boats out in the water. This is me heading off. Someone swimming. And there I am sitting in the middle of the water, and there's a lovely old castle in front of me. And I'd hoped to, looking out there, I should have been able to see Galway, but it's quite foggy. Gee, that's one thing you can never be prepared for, fog. Uh, you can't really tell that it's going to happen. Usually I find it's when there's a shift of temperature from hot to cold, you sometimes get fog. There's a whole lot of kids jumping in, going out, and they're all excited to go out in their boat. And this is Rinville Pier, Kalina Pier. So just literally driving around and seeing which places are doable. Like I said, it's a short distance, and if I go to the piers, I can paddle out and back. I mean, it's going to be longer, but I can safely cover the ground that I need to. It's a wee bit grey and a wee bit foggy. Here I am, Galway Bay. Unfortunately, it's very cloudy and a bit misty and damp. A bit of drizzle, but I don't mind a bit of drizzle as long as it doesn't start pouring. But yeah, it's just, as you can see, it's very kind of grey today. But it was a lovely drive. It looks very interesting. There's so many nice little places around Galway Bay, like for food and restaurants and bars and things like that. But anyway, yeah, paddling on. So quite grey, but you know what? It's flat and calm, and it's very easy to paddle as long as you stay close to shore. I'm hoping that the fog will clear. as well. Very peaceful. So padding out and back, and then there's a lot of when you're driving along, you see all the seafood restaurants and everything. You know there must be lots of great good supply of oysters and mussels and clams and everything in the sea. Cockles. And this is the road. I'm also teaching in my yoga grip. We're stopping to smell the roses. So I was stopping to take a picture of the roses. We're doing a lot of rose meditations in my yoga grip. And yeah, another pier here, which is great. Out in the water and boat. Nice, always nice to see lots of boats around. And yes, they are collecting shellfish here. I haven't seen these ones before. It's almost like doors floating on the surface. I don't know if it, don't think it's mussels or oysters. I'm not too sure. Could it be clams? Don't know. Anyway, on round Ballyvon Pier, and this was a bit busier again. Although the weather wasn't great, there was people flying in, but I think they were. So here I am at Ballyvogan Pier, and you can see behind me visibility is quite low now. I mean it's mild and quite warm, but it's very drizzly and kind of grey and foggy. So anyway, I'm just going to stick close to the shore as I continue around Galway Bay. Now you can see how clear the water is as well. It's just gorgeous. It is nice and flat and calm. That's the main thing for me. Let's have a wee look at this. The water, yeah, it's like crystal clear. The big green countryside. We're starting to head out though, so the green countryside will be coming to an end soon. Lots of beautiful thatched cottages. And here we are on the road. Now we're coming up towards the last pier on this side of Galway, which was one of my favorite ones. And then I had to slow down and stop because there was this. Is that a heron? Which leisurely making its way up the road here. I don't think it was injured, but it just had taken a notion to stay on the road and with it. So and I was up here, Glennon Pier. Now this was a tricky pier to park at. I don't think they like you parking down there. There's a lot of quite often you get into a pier and there's really not enough room to park and turn, and come back out, if there's any other cars, and this would be one of them. So I think ideally they don't really want you down there with the car. But yeah, there was no one around when I was there. Let's see, no parking another direction. But look at that water, it's just fab. And that's just, if you look across there, we're now out of Galway Bay, and that would be on round to Connemara that you can see in the distance there. And oh my gosh, just gorgeous. And felt like the mist was clearing a bit now, and what a beautiful little pier back here. Looks like the last pier though, and then it's just you get into called the Burren, which just you can see it behind me. It's quite very big hills. I'd imagine it's kind of like as you go on round, we're coming towards the Cliffs of Moher. So I've seen signs for it already. So this is sort of coming into the Burren now, and the last pier that I can find. Do some more investigations. But what a lovely pier. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. This is the foot of the Burren here. Beautiful. And it's a beautiful place. I definitely got very fond of the Burren during this trip and the Cliffs of Moher trip. This is the harbour. And if you were paddling across Galway Bay, it'd be very hard to even see that pier. You'd need to have somebody down there bringing you in, but some nice houses. And this is me on the road again, driving around here. Look at Lighthouse. And this is the Burren now. That's what it looks like. And actually, I've driven on around the Burren, and I've now come up to Cliffs of Moher. Stopped to have a little look, which just made me nervous, to be honest, 'cause I know I've got to get around this. But and this is a flat. Look how flat it was around the corner, and look at it here. So there's a lot of swell around here. This is what it looks like on a flat day. See the waves crashing up the side of the cliffs. So you can't get too close. It's one of the watchtowers on the other side. And this is me driving around Dillon Pier. So I pulled into Dillon Pier to have a look, because this is probably where I'd have to launch from to get round to Cliffs of Moher. There's the Dillon Ferry. So at least look at the swell underneath the boat. Look at that as a pier to launch from. You can just see the waves coming in, and a lot of currents around here. Just look at that ferry bobbing up and down, and that's a flat day. Quite turbulent. Look, this is just not an easy place to launch from. Look, there's waves coming up the slipway. So I'm looking at this already, just thinking, oh, this doesn't look too good. I'm not doing this by myself. Anyway, yeah, that lovely mermaid tail in the middle of and this is where you get the ferry, and some more video footage again. Just make myself a little bit nervous about getting around here. Obviously, I'm not going to be hugging the coast on this one. I'm going to be out there, so I'll need company this bit. Can't hug the coast here. Extremely dangerous to be in this area. So yeah, don't get in. And this is it on a flat day. Like, look at this spray. You can see the watchtower up here and the cliffs. Anyway, this is Dillon, which is a really lovely little town. Got a nice vibe from it. And I was staying in Liscannor, which is really a short drive, but it's the next harbour around from the Cliffs of Moher. And I was literally behind this tower, whereas where I was staying right up there. So you can see right in between Dillon and Liscannor. And I was actually staying by myself. I just need somewhere to sleep because I'm out all day. I'm up at first light and I'm back at dark pretty much. So I took this it's like a little shed. And there's cows right outside the window. I just looked out and looked at the views out the window, looking at the cows. And this was people who were renting it to me. That it was their dog that was very friendly and called in. This is all I need: a little sink, bathroom, bed, obviously. Look at my view from my yoga mat. I'm sitting doing my yoga and meditation because I do it every day, helping me stay positive and just get rid of aches and pains. And so I had a good night's sleep, and then I was up and away, and I thought, right, I'm actually just gonna go the whole way the other direction. So right down to, this is the Shannon. And again, also a bit of a recce because I'm gonna have to cross the Shannon. So I want to have a little look at that and then paddle up This is literally right here is out here is the Shannon. This is the very far end of, I've been calling it the Clare Peninsula. I don't know if you can call it that, but um this is kind of like when you drive on from where I was at the Cliffs of Moher, you keep on going down to I'm working my way back up from the Shannon to Liscannor basically today. Well, I'm trying to see what I can cover by myself. So this is Liphead and Liphead Lodge. And this is the little harbour here. And look, you can see lovely conditions, flat and calm. This is across the Shannon here. So having a look at that. And looking forward to launching here. Looks like low tide, Culbaha Bay Beach. And yeah. So here I am at Culbaha Bay Beach. And funnily enough, I have been here before. And it's a lovely little sheltered bay here. We're just at the end of the peninsula, coming into the Shannon. And there'll be lots of strong currents and there's quite high cliffs and things around here. But this is a lovely little bay to come and go from. Actually, had dinner here in Keating's bar and restaurant a few years ago now. Whenever my friend Ailish came home, she's at Ailish Keating, and we went here for a meal and it was very nice. So it's very funny to be back here again. I'm starting to put it all together, getting more familiar with the whole bit around Ireland. Here we go, for tonight. Yeah, so bearing in mind, when I came home from America, I had very little knowledge of all of Ireland. I knew the North Coast quite well, and a little bit of Donegal, not a whole lot else. So I'd been down here to visit Ailish and around 2021, something like that. And she'd taken us around the area. So it's like, aha, been here before. Starting to get familiar. Where we are, Keating's Bar Restaurant. And some lovely Irish food. And this is me paddling out and around. So you can see there's like old remains. It's like a big old building up here, and this is me going around the side and then on round. So when you go around this corner, you get to the lighthouse. So that's kind of the direction I'm headed. Some more close-ups of the landscape because that looked quite exciting with the caves. If I was a bit braver, but I'm not brave. I'm not that brave to go into caves and stuff by myself, but if you liked caves, and there's a boat in the distance, that always makes me feel happier. Just getting a feel for what the water's like. This is where I am down here, Lip Head, and I've literally just been coming around this little tiny bit of the foot. So this is Cliffs of Moher here, and this is where I'm staying here in Liscannor. So this is the route I'm trying to get done now. So I'm just down here, just going around the toe here, and this is the lighthouse. So I came up to look at the lighthouse. Again, I'd been up here. You can see the cliffs below. I'd been up here with my friend Ailish last time. Liphead Lighthouse. Would have a good old look around. You can see that's it right at the toe of this peninsula. And just looking out again, I'm going to have to do this crossing at some point. So I'm just trying to figure out where we do it. No, we're right out here. This is the mouth of the Shannon, which I'm not going to cross at the mouth because usually that's the craziest part because the wind and the waves are meeting each other and it can be quite dangerous. So I generally will make my crossings a little bit further in. Anyway, here's me chatting about it. The mouth of the Shannon here. And the Head Lighthouse is just right up here behind me. So I have to cross the Shannon, of course, but I'm not going to cross right there. Further inland where it's a bit safer because the currents will be very strong here. But anyway, just thought I'd have a proper look at it. And there's ships coming in and out here too. Obviously, that's where the lighthouse is there. So make my way on round and found another little area that was quite good for lunching from. And again, look how nice and flat and calm It's been, and there's dolphin, the Shannon Dolphin Project. Didn't see any dolphins on that trip though. And there's bridges here, which is, I think what it is there's natural formations. I just thought this was quite interesting to read. You know, there was once three natural bridges. Now there is one. The others gradually collapsed into the sea during the 19th century. Stewards loved to take photographs standing on the Atlantic Bridge. The battering of the waves finds weak spots in the caves and the sea stacks and wears them away. Old bridges crumble, but new bridges are always being formed. In 100 years' time, there could be another three bridges. So that's the thing when it comes to everything's always changing, and you never know. So on the road down to Kilkeel, and I've been here again before too. So I'm starting to get familiar with a lot of this. I haven't been out in the water here before, so I'm heading out now. Kilkeel, big beach, nice and flat. Ailish taking us to a lot of sightseeing around here, and we did a lot of sea swimming, went sea swimming, and again, it's lovely, lots to see. And there's the Coast Guard, paddling out, cliffs. So I see a lot of cliffs. Anyway, a nice big sheltered bay. And then I went down here. This is actually, I think this is where we swam last time. It's sort of like an end of a windy road, and it's quite a walk down. This is just the side of Kilkeel Bay. This is where I was paddleboarding out and round. And then a bit further, Dunmore Castle. There's a pier here. Dunmore, I think it's Dunmore. We got it. That's the remains of the castle over here a little bit. And there's fishing boats out. And driving on. And then the next beach was actually behind the Doonbeg Trump Hotel. These are the cottages here. So it actually took me a while to try and figure out how to get to down to the beach. I do love these old buildings. I always take pictures of them. So I was driving round and round, and then finally found it, to Moher Bay, and this was a good spot. This looks more like a surf beach here, but I was really glad to find that. This little way here is not so difficult to get in, and that's the back of the hotel. This was an easier pier to get out from, which is literally a stone's throw away from the last beach. So don't know if you can even see the beach along here. The hotels, Dinbeg Hotel. Is that it over here? Maybe. So just a different approach, and there's boats here. That was a nice harbour. And then round to Spanish Point. This was a little trickier to get down to the car parks over here, but I have board on mine. So I drove up and down. It's like, I don't think I can actually get into that car park without trailing everything off. And then it started to lash. And so I thought I'll go on up to Lahinch Beach and have a look at that. And actually I've done some paddleboarding along here before. Actually I've been in the sea with Jack when he was really small. I remember he was in swimming. It was very flat that day, and there was massive jellyfish, and this was June. Now 2025, I didn't see any jellyfish. But this is also another stone throw. So this is I call this Liscannor Bay. It's probably not the right word for it, but this is where I'm going to be finishing. This is where I'm staying, and this is where I'm finishing up for the Cliffs of Moher paddle. So, you know, you can cut across here. It's very close to the Hinge Beach, and Spanish Point is all just right here. So I am going to be coming right in here on the next paddle as well. But yeah, this is a really famous surf spot, and you can see like the swell here. Again, it's a flat day, but you can see the swell coming in here. There's a lot of serious surfing going on here. And then on up to Liscannor, which is flat and calm, nice little harbour. And this was my last part. And I went out and paddled around. You can see it's just literally across that's Lahinch. Short bit around here is Spanish Point, and then all the area I've just been doing. And this is paddling out now of Liscannor and heading back up towards Cliffs of Moher. We'll be around here. So as you go around this corner, it just starts getting very steep cliffs. And that's a picture from the harbour. It was lovely. I really liked this. It seemed like a really nice area as well. Nice little harbour. And yeah, this is me back at the ranch, just getting ready for bed and having a look, because I just thought, I'd love to get a bit more of the Burren covered, because I've done quite a lot on this trip, but I really like to Fanor Beach looked like the only place that I could get out at to do like the Burren towards uh Galway Bay on one side, and then the Cliffs of Moher on the other. So I'm looking at it. You can see the next day it's the surface, it's a surf beach too, which won't be the easiest with my paddleboard, but you can see here it's dropping fair to good from 6 a.m. First light's probably around 6:30, I think. Maybe earlier, because this is June, and easterly wind, which is quite good. And then it starts to pick up by noon, but I'm planning on an early start. So I think this is me up and away, early start, being chased by sheepdog, or yeah, this dog was on the tractor, and then the next thing it saw me and it came flying down the road, barking at me. And this is me now coming, heading back towards Fanor. That's actually this is me leaving Liscannor. So this is Dillon Pier, that's Crab Island, and this is Dillon Pier in here. There's a big campsite here, which I think I tried to book in there, but it was actually I was going to do some glamping. I do like camping, but I just find with this sort of trip, I'm so tired. I just want a comfy bed. So I've been trying to find little places where, I'm sheltered inside, and you just don't know what the weather's going to be like and everything like that. So fair play to anyone who's been paddling around Ireland and camping. Right, here we go. This is the Burren again. Look at this, lovely. I do love this countryside. I mean, it's mainly rock, but there's something really nice about it. Maybe it's just earth grinding. Maybe it's just that's what it is. And that's me just out scudding, seeing if what's down this lane. Maybe I can get onto I couldn't really find anywhere else to get onto the sea except for Fanor. So this is where I'd come from. This is literally Dillon's just right up here. There's some more, and this is the bit I wanted to get done, and probably about the same again on the other side. And the only way I could see of getting in it was here, which is a surf beach, which is never, well, it just means I'm gonna get wet. So I can't take, oh, there's somebody up there in the water already. I can't take all my usual cameras and walkie-talkies and everything like that, because there's a good chance I'm gonna get wet. And that's happened to me before, and I've ended up with wrecking my phone and stuff. Anyway, here we go. Decided to put the wet on, get ready to go in at Fanor Beach, which is a little surf spot right before Doolin, which is that way, and the Cliffs of Moher. So Galway's that way, and this way is Doolin. And yeah, I'm probably going to get soaked. And no life jacket because this is like a surf beach. So going surfing on my long distance paddleboard, which is probably not ideal, but preparing myself to get drenched. There's my board. And yeah, in here. Yep, it's not too big. You can see it's quite a small little small waves. And I'd actually spoke to this surfer coming out his lovely board here about the area. Lives locally. He's not from Ireland, but he lives locally. There's something about this beach though. I really liked it. There's definitely a very good vibe about Fanor Beach. Although I have spoken to locals who've said how dangerous it is too. So you always get the local knowledge is always that it's very dangerous. But if you didn't know any better, you'd come down here and you're like, oh, this is such a lovely beach. So I got soaked. So I did, I went in and I mean, it's once you get past the sweat surf, I got a good stretch of it done on either direction. And yeah, the only thing with these surf spots is it's not so easy getting in and out with boards on top of the car. But I managed just seems to just slide under 2 meters is about the limit. And then this is me. Now I was knackered and I had to get home as well. So Richard was waiting, you know, what? Yeah, you've been away for all this time, and he's been looking after Jack this whole time. So I didn't hang around, got back in the car and made my long journey back. So here's one of my meditations. I'm listening to one of my mantras, some chanting. Took some pictures on my back because these were some places I thought looked really nice. This is the Monks. This was back on one of the piers. I was between the piers when I was driving along into Galway Bay. I'd passed this, the Thatch pub and hotel, which looked interesting to Merriman. There's lots of really nice pubs and bars. I would definitely like to do Galway again and stay in some nice places and try out some of the nice food. And that's it. And that's me back to the beginning where I started. Anyway, so a bit further and Galway Bay, really lovely area, and County Clare. Anyway, thanks for watching.